numbers of the youth, staggering it seems that belief in any
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Generational Turnaround Podcast, where we teach the truth, and then we bring you the truth from the guests that I invite. And today, we're starting off our TT Summit. And our first guest today is Darlene and Kevin Thorne. Hello, Darlene and Kevin. Welcome. Thank you for coming and being the first one to start out our Generational Turnaround Summit. And we call it GT for short. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is, I want to read Darlene and Kevin. Darlene brings deep professional perspective to the concept generational turnaround. With her background, industry, and coaching, she understands the importance of rescuing generational patterns and the feet that lay in their personal growth. Now, Darlene explains self-care and identity issues allow her to thrive in the field and breaking free negative generational cycles and to break mindset. As pastor and an international speaker, Darlene has a platform to reach a wide audience and inspire transformation in their lives. Her emphasis on total self-care and beyond relationship with God aligns with the principle generational turnaround. As this evolves, they can intentional changes that both the individual and the family level. Through her teaching, seeking engagement, and writing, Darlene encourages individuals to examine their own generational patterns and beliefs in the power of her passion in empowering women in careers also adds a valuable perspective to the conversation as she understands
in a world where decisions cast a shadow, generational turnaround, we rise to follow for the young, the purpose to die.
And bringing from God
no longer the high generational turnaround, we're on the scene, interviewing the wrong lead, convicted so keen that God knows, making choices astray, bending up from walking in a dangerous way. The numbers of the youth, staggering it seems that belief in enemies, even extreme, but we call upon God as our first reaction, offering an alternative and divine attraction, special disappear, open where they aspire, so they told them to show a path that's higher, a profitable outcome, pleasing to God's sight, benefiting the 99%.
Because they're both pastors, and they make that perfectly clear. What do I have for Kevin? First of all, Pastor Kevin joined me in activating your faith, witness a generation turnaround is one of the whole prophets are in there was only 7 of us, and we tore it up. Do y'all have a copy of that book?
Yes. To detour them to show a path is higher, a profitable outcome, pleasing to God's sight, benefiting the 99% shining the guiding light. Generational turnaround, open doors wide for more people to thrive.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
podcast and truth, bringing
Y'all know I'm
undeniable
lucky
proof.
too when it comes to
In a
all
world where
this
decisions cast a
techno.
shadow, generational turnaround. We
I'm sorry, Darlene and Kevin. I'm just got 'em jamming, and I'm thinking I'm all that turned off. Were y'all able to hear anything I read?
It was very difficult to hear you. Very
Okay, everybody, please forgive me because I've got to let y'all know who this wonderful Pastor Darlene Thorne is. Darlene Thorne brings a unique professional perspective to the concept of generational turnaround. With her background in ministry and coaching, she understands the importance of addressing generational patterns and beliefs that may hinder personal growth and success. Now, Darlene's expertise in self-care and identity issues allows her to guide individuals in breaking free from negative generational cycles and embracing a new mindset. And you know, everybody, it starts in the mind, the mindset. As a pastor and intention, an international speaker, Darlene has the platform to reach a wide audience and inspire them to seek transformation in their lives. Her emphasis on total self care and deepening one's relationship with God aligns with the principle of generational turnaround, as it involves making intentional changes at both the individual and the family level. Through her coaching, speaking engagements, and writing, Darlene encourages individuals to examine their own generational patterns. Change.
Mhm.
Her passion for empowering women ministry leaders and also adds a valuable perspective to the conversation as she understands the unique challenges and opportunities they face in bringing about the generational turnaround that our community needs. And this is
Amen.
Pastor Darlene Thorne.
Amen. Woo, who is that woman?
That, that's a right there. If y'all don't know, now you know. And you know, this is why I asked her to be a speaker in the Generational Turnaround Summit, the GT Summit, okay? And next we have Pastor Kevin. As a pastor, he had the privilege of influencing generations through his teaching and mentoring. Though he, his presence in the church, he strived to create an environment where individuals from different generations can come together, learn from one another, and support each other in their faith journey. Pastor Kevin Thorne, a native of Cambridge, Massachusetts,
Yes.
Mhm.
is that right? Okay. Accepted the Lord as his personal savior at the age of 13 and was later baptized at the age of 17. While attending college, he traveled to southern Spain, where he was confronted by the Lord to truly deny himself, take up the cross of Christ, and follow Jesus wholeheartedly. In that moment, he had the spiritual power of God's love commanding him to help others. He would go on to serve God's children at the Spanish Christian mission in Costa del Sol, Spain. Upon returning to the United States, Pastor Kevin would work in his home church in Cambridge, serving as a church trustee, youth leader, worship leader, choir director, and a musician. After meeting and marrying the love of his life, Darlene Hopkins, they would later move together to Clayton, North Carolina, after the birth of their two children, Kevin II and Kennedy Elaine.
Yes.
Okay. Since the stroke in 2019, Pastor Kevin walks daily toward total healing, and he and Darlene serve as shepherd at Renewal Community Church. This ministry is based on the Church of Acts, where they meet in homes and focus on growing deep with those they serve.
Amen.
This is Pastor Kevin
We're doing well.
Darlene Thorne.
Amen.
Man, oh man. Now, look, I'm gonna tell y'all one more thing. Look,
Yeah.
I want everybody to understand the importance, the relevance of generation turnaround.
Yes.
The people, we as Black people, I'm going to say it like this: unified faith in God's promises strengthen the spiritual connection within the Black community and addresses and the challenges faced by Black families, particularly in relation to our children. This son, oh, excuse me, y'all. Okay, this summit recognizes the significance of faith in God and the promises He has made, and seek to empower Black individuals, Black families to make similar commitment to their loved one. God made commitments to us, and He has and always put us first. Can we make the same commitment to our families, to our children? This summit will consist of panel discussions and interactive sessions that focus on key areas. I'm talking to the Thorns, Pastor Kevin and Darlene, about alignment with our children. And I know they know all about alignment. I heard Pastor Darlene talk about alignment. But before we do that, Pastor Darlene, I want you to, and Pastor Kevin, to tell what Pastor Kevin did for his company to help the people realize what's necessary to have a generational turnaround.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be kind of conversation with Kevin and
That's
myself.
fine.
Okay,
That's fine.
Kevin, you were the president of what's the name of the company? That's
That's done.
yes, and you really wanted the people that work there to build legacy, right?
Yes.
So what do you remember that you did for them instead of giving them a bonus in cash? What did you do instead of giving them a bonus in cash? What class did you set up for them?
Financial literacy,
Okay, financial. Why was that important?
because I wanted them to know that they had to live off of um, their income, that they could live off their income
Mm-hmm.
if they wisely invested their money.
Mm. They had to wisely invest their money. So what did you do with the bonus instead of giving them the bonus? Where did you put the money?
Put it in a trust,
Uh-huh.
which was given to them, and they would, could um, cash that in at important aspects of their lives, like graduations and things like that, for their children.
For their who?
Their children.
You caught that, right? It
For
was
their children.
right,
Oh,
right.
that's a generational turnaround right there.
Absolutely. Because one of the things that Pastor believed in is building legacy. And he also, as you heard him say, financial literacy. Some of the people that came to work there had never really heard about how you take care of your money. They figure I get a check, pay the bills, and then I spend the rest, as opposed to making sure that you save your money, that you put aside money. So when they would, instead of getting a bonus, that money will go into a 401k plan. It will go into a thing that, an instrument that would grow. So the longer they kept it in there, the more it would earn interest. And as long as they stayed at the company, the next year they get another bonus. That money's put in there and it continues to grow.
Oh my God.
The grow toward the expense of their children's education.
Towards their children's education.
Oh wow. See? And who does that? What company, what person says, look, we're gonna make this so that your children's children and your children's children will know how to invest, that there's more to it than just getting a paycheck, spending it, and being broke.
That's right.
Yeah. And then what?
And after the classes, they were able to see how their money was growing. And they were also able to, if they wanted to put some of their own money from their check, if they wanted to add that,
Right.
they would add more money to it and it would grow faster and bigger. And
And
that to me is important. Yeah, I know that was important for you, wanting to see them grow their finances.
Because they could do it painlessly with just appreciation.
With appreciation.
Yeah, by them having the money in the account, it just continues to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And by them continuing to grow, they had money for their kids to go to school.
Right.
And go to college, or anything else they wanted to do to educate themselves.
Right.
So they were able to afford those things for their children.
Right.
Oh my God. And what was the name of your company, Pastor Kevin?
That's Diamond. That's Diamond.
And what did you do at that company? I mean, I know it was your company, but what kind of company was it?
Mm.
Excuse me. They manufactured
Yeah.
napkins.
Oh,
Kind of restaurant.
So like McDonald's and different places like that.
oh wow. Then I bet you nobody thinks about having a business of manufacturing napkins and how many places actually need napkins.
Yeah. Well, it was funny. One of the things that he told me when he was talking about the business, he says it's not sexy, but everybody needs napkins, especially in the summertime,
Yeah.
because people are traveling in the summer and they're driving from place to place. And guess where they stop? They stop at McDonald's and they grab extra napkins.
That's
Why?
right.
Because they drink stuff in the car, they sweat in the car, and they need to have napkins to wipe their foreheads. So he said it's not sexy, but let me tell you something. People grab those napkins.
Yeah.
And when we I remember one time we were at church and he was giving a testimony about something that the Lord had done in the business, and so he turned around to the congregation. He says, "So this summer, when you all go traveling, grab a couple of extra napkins.
Because it doesn't
Yeah.
cost you anything.
Doesn't That's right? It doesn't cost you anything."
Because that gives you extra business, keep you in business. All right. And you talking about you deliver to McDonald's and the fast food chains.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
How did you, how is it that you got that contract?
How'd you get that contract? Do you remember?
I
Because
really don't.
that,
Okay, well, I'll help you out a little bit. He was working at McDonald's and he was in one office and someone happened to walk by and they were talking about a joint venture project, and Kevin heard it. He overheard them talking and he wanted to know more information about it. And the more he heard, the more intrigued he was. But what he didn't want to do was to go over his boss's head and,
mhm.
try to get in. So he asked his boss, what did his boss think about him doing, maybe looking at this joint venture? And the boss said, I think it will be good for you. And so the boss recommended him to be a part of that particular joint venture. And because Kevin was at McDonald's already, he understood the culture of the company, and the people that wanted to partner, they were from another company
Okay.
and they didn't understand the culture of
Mhm,
McDonald's. And
mhm.
there was one woman, do you remember the one woman that was against you being a part of it?
No.
Yeah, there was one woman who was from the other company that was not in, she was like, no, I don't want that. I don't want him to be a part of it. And Kevin came home and we prayed because we believe that this is where we're supposed to be. And do you know, within a week, by the time it rolled around to have another meeting, the woman didn't show up at the meeting. And we come to find out that her husband had gotten a transfer and moved them clear across the country. So she resigned from the position and was no longer a part of that joint venture. So Kevin was able to step in full throttle and be a part of the joint venture to go and start the business. here in North Carolina.
God will remove those stumbling blocks, won't he?
Yes, he will.
Yes, he will.
Yes. And you
So,
know, there are so many people who, that story that you are telling right now, there's so many people would have kept on walking,
yeah.
would have just said, nah, like Kevin said, that's not sexy, it's not exciting. I don't want to have anything to do with that. But Kevin, and then not only did you get involved, but you made so many people's lives different by teaching them on how to invest, to not just spend your money, but to invest for better days to come.
That's right. That's
Now,
right. And that's paid
Darlene,
off for us because of what he did, um, not only for those that worked in his company, but he did that for us.
mm,
You know,
it,
from every place of employment, you know, wherever they had investments and they had, if you had a matching, he was matching it. If they matched 6%, he put in 6%. If they matched 3%, he put in 3. He did all of that. All of the things he taught them, it was because he was already doing.
he was doing it.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. And when did you know that about him before you all got married? And did you?
I knew about that before we got married
Okay.
because the I was the one that needed assistance even before we got married. I was having an issue where I had a school loan that I needed to pay back. And I was trying to figure out how I could pay it off and so forth. And he said, "Well, what is it?" And we sat down and we talked it through, and literally we made a plan. He drew it up. He says, "This is the way we're going to do this. It should take us this long to pay this off, blah blah blah." And he and I made an appointment with the people at the office, at the financial aid office, went into the bursar's office, went everywhere we needed to go. And my husband, at the time we were engaged, he literally ran the meeting. He told them, he says, right now we are engaged, and my fiance is going to be paying you $80 a month. And then when we get married in October, we will then double it and we will take care of this bill. So he literally, from before we got married, he was already modeling what we needed to do as a family,
Oh,
take
wow.
care of our finances. He taught me something that I never ever forgot. He said, he said 3 words, no, 4 words to me. He said, "Money is a tool. You have to know how to use it."
Yeah,
And I've
it's
never
true.
forgotten that. That money is a tool. That's what you taught me.
Yeah.
That money is a tool, and we have to know how to
Use
use it.
Oh,
Isn't that great?
Darlene, Pastor Kevin. You know, if more people heard that, and they will, because you're saying it right here, and I'm powered by CTR Media Network, and the millions of people are watching you and learning from both of you. I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
This, this, this man, this your husband, this pastor came into the relationship
That's right.
Before the marriage, showing you
Mhm.
who you were getting.
That's right.
A man of God and a man after your own heart.
Mm-hmm. 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 Absolutely. A man after God's heart. He not only taught that to me, but when our children were young, we also had the jars. We had the save jar, the save, give, and spend. And each jar, we had a red jar, a yellow jar, and a blue jar. And they would get an allowance, per you call it, and they would get it in coins. So Father was teaching them by virtue of the coins they were getting. This is where you save, this is where you spend, and this is where you give. And they understood from the time that they were babies. Remember?
Mhm.
You taught them how to give. What did you teach them about giving? Okay, we gave them $1. What did you teach them about that dollar?
Well, they had to immediately put money away and save it. So they know automatically that every dollar I get, the first 10% isn't mine. That belongs to God. And the way they show that is that they would put that money away in a savings account, and then when it's time to go to church or place of worship, they would give that as their offering.
Mm-hmm. And
And they were then better able to manage the other 90% because of the giving God the first 10%.
Oh my God. That's another generation of turnaround right there. If we can get our children to know the value of the first 10%,
right.
yeah, that right there, and that will catapult them to a whole new way of life.
That's right. That's
And
right.
oh my God, this is so good. Please, y'all continue.
So what else? What happens after they did the 10% to give to God? Where did the rest, the 90%? What did they do with the rest?
They had the budget,
Uh-huh.
so they had to know they had to set goals for themselves. Our children they had to go to school. They needed money to spend, and I wasn't going to give it to them. I already gave it to them, but I showed them how to do it. I showed them how to put their money aside. It's amazing how you have money all the time, but you got to know how to use the money that you have, and it's better to save while you have it
Mm-hmm.
because there's always a rainy day. There's always going to have rain somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
It's always going to have rain somewhere. That's right. And when you taught them about budgeting, what was important about budgeting?
So they had goals.
Mm-hmm.
They had goals for their future. They had goals for their lives.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted my children to make sure that they were saving for where they wanted to end up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I will say this: we have uh, two very different children now, and besides the fact that they are a boy and a girl. That's not it. The way they think about things is different. And I remember our son when he was in high school. I will not forget. He has. We were going. I wasn't there actually. Kevin took them to a track meet. Kevin had finished his all of his events were done, and Kennedy still had an event. She ran the 4x4, and that was usually the last event that was run. So Kevin had to figure out something to do. And so while it was in Georgia, that's where they were at, and it was very, very hot that particular time. And there was a gentleman that was selling, or not selling, renting generators. And so as he was renting the generators, there were people that were needing them. And so Kevin walks up to them, the entrepreneur that he is, and he says, "Do you need any help?" And at the beginning, the gentleman said, "No, I don't need any help." But so many people were looking for these generators. Kevin comes back to him. He says, "You sure you don't need any help?" Well, the gentleman said, "Yes, I need you to be a runner for me to deliver these generators." So Kevin created a job that didn't exist and made about $150 over that weekend by helping the gentleman deliver these generators. Nobody asked him about that, but because of the entrepreneurial mindset that he gained from his father, he created a job. And it reminded me of the job that Kevin got when he went to McDonald's. You interviewed for one job, and they said that he was overqualified for that job. So and it was this thing where he interviewed, and it was a month. We're waiting a month, and we hadn't heard from them. And the reason that we hadn't heard from them was because they were creating a job for him. They were creating a budget from where they were going to get the money to pay him. And I thought that was so interesting, because I hear that about him, and then his son creates a position out of thin air and gets paid. And then this is the kicker about it all. Talk about goals. There was an outfit that our son wanted to purchase. And dad said, "We're not buying it for you. If you want it, you have to earn your money and raise your money to get it." And with that 150 that he made, he was able to purchase the outfit that he wanted. It was an Adidas running suit, and he wanted this suit so bad. But he raised the money, earned the money so he could get that. But that to me is the way that we should be doing things anyway. We should be working to earn the money for the things that we want to purchase.
I'm in awe. Everything that you.
My son too, by the way.
What you said, Kevin?
I'm very proud of my son for doing that.
Yeah, I'm very proud of him too, and I'm very proud of the whole story that you just said, Darlene and Kevin. Kevin made. That's what these young people have to know. Make your position. Because they don't have it there, you can show them who you are and make that. And it doesn't mean they are looking for people who are different. They're looking for people who will take the initiative.
Yes.
Good word.
Yes, and you did it. Whew. And then you passed it on to your son who made you proud. That's man. What they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yes, and it's funny because it's not Kennedy on the flip side. What she does, she also finds positions. Like there are. I'm not sure if you have heard about Beyonce and her new hair care line. It's
Yeah,
called, you've heard of it, right? Well,
yeah.
if you saw any the uh of the launch,
Mm-hmm.
you may have seen Kennedy because she was one of the models. So if you saw someone that was wearing all white with a hairstyle that looked like a top, like a top hat, that was Kennedy. She was one of the models. And
Oh my
and
God.
she got this opportunity because she was connected with some friends who gave her a call and said, "Are you interested?" She said yes. And when you say yes to these opportunities,
Mhm.
you get more opportunities, and
Right.
things and doors open when you take the plunge. And sometimes it's playing, um, what one of my coaches says. He says to play full out. And
Mm-hmm.
so sometimes it means taking those risks to
That's
do some
right.
things that are different, that are outside of the box. You open yourself up for new opportunities. And I say that when we talk about the generational turnaround, we don't necessarily want to get stuck in a box where we
Mhm.
have to do these particular things. I'm seeing more and more that young people are using their gifts and talents, and they are able to create their own
Hey.
their own way, because they're using the gifts, the talents and abilities that have been given to them.
Mhm.
I think that that's one of the things that we as parents, if we see our children gravitating towards a particular thing, if they gravitate towards artistry, if they gravitate towards math, if they gravitate towards certain things, we follow them and help them
Mhm.
to grow that
Yeah,
interest, because that can be a key to their financial freedom.
that's right. And not to detour them because we don't believe that that's what they ought to be doing, but to encourage them
Yes,
because we don't know what God has said. This is this is your purpose.
that's right.
And a lot of young people believe that we want to dictate
Mm,
because what should be what you're not going to make any money from this. You
right.
need to do back in the day, doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, but
Right.
anything but. So that's why generational turnaround is pivotal. So we and look, we are going to be talking across the board. We're going to be talking about health, generational turnaround, because there's so many young people that are being affected by heart attacks, strokes. There's all type of diseases that does not have an age.
That's right. And I
And
believe that a lot of that has to do with what we do in terms of how we feed ourselves.
mhm,
Do we get rest?
mhm,
Are we living a as much as possible a stress-free life? I believe that are part of some of the issues are social media, where there is bullying, where there is the comparison, where you don't see yourself as being important because you're looking at somebody else's life and it looks so glamorous, but you don't realize that they're standing in front of somebody else's car, that the clothes that they're wearing, they're really trying them on in a store and they're not theirs. You know, some of the things are made up, and so it creates undue stress, and then the rat race to try and get ahead. And I believe that it's important that we get back to being who we are authentically.
Right, right. And you know, the young people tell me over TikTok that they're going to get there by any means necessary.
Yeah.
When you say that, we are looking at the prisons overflowing. We're looking at the graveyard overflowing with young. And
Yeah.
so generational turnaround is about helping them to see that, as you two just said, they can make a position. You go there, you're doing this job over and over, but are you paying attention to a possible position that you can suggest?
That's it.
It's not written in stone. Kevin proved it. They wanted him, so they had to make a position. They didn't want to lose him. They knew the position that they had was below him, but they didn't want to lose him, so they made a position. You people don't know how often that does happen.
That's right. That is right.
What about our alignment with our children, darling?
Mm-hmm.
How can we align our family in God, the natural order of things, of families?
Well, I know that in our family, we looked to Pastor Kevin as the leader in our home. And I think that, unfortunately, in some families, they are one parent, single parent home, and it's the mom that is the one that is there raising the children on her own. We were fortunate, we were blessed to have two parents for our children to be raised in a two parent home. And I deferred to Pastor on many things. There were some things that I just handled because I was there. Pastor Kevin, what he, I want to use the right words because I cannot tell you how he valued family and how he wanted the best for us. Sacrifices were made in so many areas because he wanted what was best for us. When we decided and made the move from Chicago down to North Carolina, it was a tough decision for our children because they didn't want to leave their friends in Chicago. They didn't want to come down here, but because we were one and we saw what would be a great future for them, we had to stand as a united front
Yes.
and say, we going, y'all coming. And then when we got down here, one of the things that we were very intentional about is wherever we saw them have an interest, we poured into that.
Yes.
Our daughter, she expressed interest in running track, and that's what we did. What did you need? We made sure that she got to the track meets. We were there for the track meets. Our son, he fell into acting. He wanted to go and audition for a play. We were taking him. He got the part. We were taking him to rehearsal. When it was time for him to show and be on stage, we were there in the audience cheering him on. We believed in four specific values that we would support them enthusiastically. We would love unconditionally. We would trust, and we would share sacrificially. Those were our four tenets that we all sat around the table and we put them together, and they are in our living room in a frame. And as a matter of fact, our children, they have their own in the frames where they live, that helps them to remember what we do. Those are the tenets for the Thorne family. Those are our family values. And we believe that they were important, that if we can set them up now, that when they get married, they're going to set up their family values and they'll be in their home. And as a matter of fact, if you called Kevin or Kennedy and said, what's the Thorne's family tenets? They would be able to tell you without missing a beat, because we believed in that so very much. And we thought it's very, very important to make sure that we instilled those values in our children.
Kevin,
Yes.
look, the reason that we're going to Mississippi Gulf Coast and the GT Summit is to take those values, like you just said, to families who don't know of setting values, putting values into when they hear your values. You know, a couple of days ago, God gave me love, sacrifice, and service. Those are the three words that He gave me. And when He gave me that, I wrote them down and I thought about love, sacrifice, and service. That's exactly what we're going to do when we go down to Gulfport, Mississippi, and we're going to share that thought with from some who, like I said, there's so many one family, one member family.
One
And
parent home.
yes, one parent home. And most times it is the mother who's doing both roles. And I hate to say, but we got so many young fathers in prison, and the young mothers are trying the best that they can to
And,
do both.
and I would like to encourage that single parent mom. And I know it sounds crazy, but I believe that she has to be just the mom.
Hmm.
And I pray that she would seek out a man to be a mentor to, if she has sons, especially, that she would seek out a trusted male to help in the raising of the son. Because we as women can only be women. It's hard for us to be both parents and to be able to do it well. I'd like to encourage that woman to, as much as she can, find someone that can help in the rearing if that father is not available, because it helps to take the stress off of the woman to try and be both mother and father. That is, I think it's so hard to be able to do that, a big challenge to be able to do that. What do you think about
And the village elders.
there it is. I like that.
Yes, that's what we have to go back to the village in the community. You
Hmm.
know, a lot of people has gotten away from that. Uh, they don't take care of theirs. Don't tell my child nothing. Don't, But believe, trust and believe that there are people in the community that would love to help if
Hmm.
you would give them a chance.
Wow, that's good.
That used to be life. I'm 67. I
Mm-hmm.
grew up with the village.
Mm.
You couldn't, if I was walking down the street in the wrong direction, that person would say, "Where are you going? I
Wow.
don't think do your mama know you over there?" You know,
Wow.
and get a phone call before I get home.
Wow.
We've got to return to
Hmm.
to save our children because they got so many predators,
Mm.
so many people that mean you no good.
No good.
And the GT Summit, I want you all to come to the Mississippi Gulf Coast on the 20th and the 21st, where this is Pastor Kevin and Darlene Thorne will be there. You're gonna be virtual, right?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yes. But just like we are right now, this dynamic couple is going to be in on our panelists. They are going to be because they gotta be on the panelists. They got to be because so much information that they have. You heard how they raised their children, how Pastor Kevin helped his company, his employees learn how to invest their, what do you call it? That it was their bonuses, right?
Their bonuses.
Yeah.
That's
Their
right.
bonuses. He gave them a bonus, but he also taught them how to invest it. Come on, y'all. Y'all need to hear the story. If you just clicking in, when you come to the generational turnaround, the GT Summit, he's gonna say it again. Believe me, and you don't want to miss it that time.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Kevin, Darlene. Oh my God. I just want everybody get a chance to watch the replay. We are powered by CTR Media Network. And believe me, I'm going to be at this summit and I'm gonna be powered by CTR because me and Sandy Sanders will be there. And we're gonna make sure that everybody get an opportunity to watch this summit. So I pray that today was better than yesterday, but it's not as good as tomorrow. I pray that tomorrow will bring forth a double portion of blessings in the form of opportunity that you never saw coming. That's what the GT Summit is going to be about, opportunities to make a change, a generational turnaround in your lives. So thank you. Would you want to say something before we go off the air?
Something you want to say?
Yeah, just know that what we're talking about is not difficult. It just takes discipline, and anybody can do it. We're not special that way, but we have a vision for our families, and we hope that they would have the vision for their own. We can turn this generation around, but they got to believe it.
Mm. Woo!
Yes,
Woo!
yes, Pastor Kevin. That ain't nothing to it but to do it. And you, Pastor Darlene.
Don't forget. Remember this. This is where it all started.
Right there. That's activate your faith and witness a generational turnaround. That
Yes.
Pastor Kevin is in that book with a phenomenal story of what we just shared today.
Mm-hmm.
How can they buy one from Pastor Kevin, Darlene?
Well, I'm gonna see if I can put this link out there where they can uh, go ahead and make the purchase.
Okay.
Yes, Kevin has he has a mini website where you can purchase this book. I'm going to let's see if I can. Yeah, there it is.
You got to show me how to do this, Darlene.
I will. I will. Yes, ma'am. Not a problem. And let me see if I can put it down here. Let me see. I'm trying to. Oh, I cannot. It won't let me do it there, but I will put it in the private chat for you, and I think you can put it up. Okay, there it is. If you'll go to payhip.com, and I can say it out loud, so those of you who are in the listening area, it's payhip.com/B as in boy /N as in Nancy, E as in everybody, capital letter P as in Peter, I, capital letter L as in Larry. Again, it's payhip.com/B as in boy /N as in Nancy, E as in Edward, capital P as in Paul, I, capital L. And you can go ahead and purchase your book. And when you purchase your book, you will get a signed copy from Pastor Kevin. immediately sent out to you. So we appreciate you all supporting him as a new writer, as a, wait a minute, as an Amazon best-selling author.
Yes.
So we are very, very excited about that. And I will go ahead, let me, oh, I know how I can do this. I'm gonna go ahead and put this out there so that those who would like to purchase it can feel free to do so. This has been absolutely amazing. I'm so thankful
Yes.
for you doing this. Uh, okay, there it is. I can put it here. All right, there it is.
Where'd you put it?
I just put it. You should see it on in the comment section. You should see it there. I don't know what you have open on your side, but but it's out there now. So anybody that would like to make the purchase, and when you on your pod,
Okay.
you see it. Okay, good, 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 very good.
All right, everybody. Thank you for being here, for watching us. Thank you, Darlene. Thank you, Pastor Kevin. And we are about to move on. I know everybody is ready. Pastor Kevin is ready to call it an evening, right, Pastor Kevin?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all again.
Thank you.
We'll see. How do I? Yes.